Okay, so at this point, we've opened up Premiere Pro and we have the storyboards ready. The reason why I say that is my laptop has a microphone. It's not going to sound as good as it normally does because I don't have a headset on. So keep that in mind. But I'm going to do this in case if you guys need to refer back to it, okay? If you're not quite done with your storyboards, that's fine, okay? So with Premiere open, there's a couple things I want to make sure I have. Underneath window, I want to make sure my tools are on, my timeline's on, my source monitor's on, my program monitor's on. Basically, if you go to workspace, mine's set to graphics. If you don't have that option, that's fine. I need my effects controls, effects, central graphics, and sound just in case you want to add titles and things like that. History, info, Lumetri scopes, markers, media browser. That's what I want on, okay? Let me actually just do a print screen. Okay. I took a print screen of that because honestly, I've had to refer to it so many times. I just want to print that out today. I don't even need something fancy. I just need it. There we go. I'll play with that later. Okay. So with this, how many of you have never used Premiere before? Oh my God, that's scary. Sorry. Really? You guys didn't do the commercial with the cereal boxes?
Yeah, but it wasn't necessarily as much as working on Premiere.
Okay. Okay. So realize with Premiere, you're importing rather than opening things, okay? So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Import. Now, because I numbered mine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can actually import all of them at one time, okay? So I'm going to go Open, and all of them are going to appear over here. Notice they're all selected, though, okay? So I kind of want to click off of them, but anything you import is over here, okay? You have your media browser, your timeline, your program. This is going to be your preview window of your video shoot. Central graphics and sound, I just like having it there just because if you want to add titles and things like that, you can. So from there, the very first one I'm going to start with is number 1. So I'm going to click and hold it and drag it over to the timeline. Okay. Puts it right in the middle, that's fine. Okay. My big thing is I want you to get used to the sequencing of it. So I got this one, and then I'm going to go 2. I'm going to click it, hold it, and drag it over to right about here. So then if I play it, it's like, oh, that's cool. It's too long. I could already tell you it's too long just because it's too long of a transition. So remember, did I give you a time reference of how long your video should be? Did I give you a time reference? No. Thank you, Axel. I did not. That's for you to decide. Okay? Trust me, that's one of the elements that I always found the most frustrating when teachers would say, you have to produce a 2-minute video about this. It's like 2 minutes is actually very long in terms of the program language, okay? So you decide how long it should be. I could already tell you, you get all this information like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, right about there. Remember this bar on bottom, how it goes up and down the timeline? Well, with that, I could also press this dot and really expand out. I think I put 6 seconds on there. That would bring it over to there. I don't even need 6 seconds. I only need like roughly 2 seconds. Okay, so right about at the 2-second mark, I'm going to use my razor blade tool. I'm going to click it, then I'm going to cut that part right there. I'm going to take my select tool. All I'm going to do is just move this selection up. I'm going to click on this empty space, press delete. Okay. Anytime you cut something, I don't say delete it right away because it might be part of a video. If you cut something out of the video, you can press Control Z and go back, or it's right there for quick reference. I'm going to turn off that layer though. Okay, so I'm going to check my timing. Attack from Mars. That's about a good sequence, okay? So I don't need that now, so I could actually delete it and turn back on that layer. Okay, so right about 4 is where I want to make that cut. So I established that's pretty much where I want to make my time sequence. Once you get your sequence down, it's pretty much effortless at there. So I got 1, 2, going to drag in 3. The big thing about why are we doing storyboards? The repetition. The more you repeat the process, the more you're going to understand what you're doing, or the more you're going to be like, that was confusing. So keep that in mind, all right? But you're going to understand how to pull stuff from the media browser into the timeline. And then you're going to be like me, where you're like, I'm going to know my twos times tables really well. So I got this. So I'm going to play it. I can also move this down a little. I'm going to go down 4, 5, 6. So right about there, I'm going to make my other cut. The razor blade cuts it. And remember, when they first did Premiere, it wasn't called Premiere. It was another program back in the early 2000s that did video editing before Adobe bought them. When Adobe bought them, they wanted to keep things as seamless as possible for the editors. And believe it or not, back when they used to cut film, it was with a razor blade. So that's why a lot of people are always like, why is it a razor blade? Because that's how they used to cut film together, okay? So I'm going to delete this little tail end of it. Boop. Then I'm going to go 4. Okay. I'm going to go right about to 8. Put my cut right there. And remember, too, I'm not going to be the one that's going to be measuring how long is this. It should look good, okay? So every once in a while, just like in animation, double check it. See if it time flows, okay? Attack for Mars. Shuttle, yes. Always going up the ramp. Perfect. Boom. Okay. Then I'm going to go to 5. When I pull 5 in, so far, I don't think it needs a transition. That's up to you. If you want to play a transition, now's the time, okay? So I'm going to slow down my sequence again. I'm going to press play, bring my bar over. 4. Okay, right about 10 is where I'm going to do it. Go and cut it. Boom. And then I'm going to put in number 6. Cut it right at 12. Boom. So I have all those. I could actually export it now if I wanted to. I would say if you want to, export it in like the raw form where it doesn't have any transitions or effects. So I'm going to go File, Export, Media. Still won't do it for me. Just because we've had a lot of fun today, I'm going to save it as, let me save it as storyboard story, save. Yes. Okay. Try my export again. Still not letting me do it. If it doesn't let you do it, go up to this little box up here, Quick Export. Okay, when I click on Quick Export, you want to make sure the location is the desktop. Okay, does everyone see that? Make sure, Esker, Daniel, Oscar, anytime you're exporting it, there's a part in blue. Make sure that goes to the desktop, please. Because if you just go to export, it's going to export it into Premiere Pro's file that's in document, and it's kind of hard to get to. So make sure you export it right to the desktop, okay? Make sure also, don't assume that your videos are in high def. Put it to high def. So high def quality, 1080p HD, okay? It should already be set up for H.264. The way I remember is I used to live in Lake LA, so my phone number used to be 264-4290. If you crank call that number, I don't live there anymore. So some stranger will pick up going, why is there an Esker guy calling me and crank calling me? Caller ID nowadays. So then I'm going to click export. Okay. So when I export it, it should take a matter of seconds. So then I'm done with that one. If I check my desktop, it is right here. Okay. That's fine. Then I could go back into it and I could add the transitions. I could add all the fun stuff I want and go through here. And basically, I'm going to use the dissolve. I like the additive dissolve. So I'm going to expand it out. And when I put in transition on, I'm going to drag it over to this little gap here. Then I could add a couple of them. Then I press play and see if I like it. That looks nice. Okay, maybe I don't like this one. I could click on it and press delete. Okay. Or let me see if Morph Cut will work. Probably won't. Give it a second. If you're using Morph Cut, let it do its magic. It's got to do some stuff. Okay, so I'm going to press play. There's that one. Morph Cut. Yeah, I don't like Morph Cut. There's not enough there to really morph it. You want to do it if like two things are completely different but still kind of in the same pose. So it's like, So I could do film dissolve. One thing that Annette really likes with Wolf Connection is the zoom and the cross zoom. Okay. So I go over here, press play, and then it zooms in. Womp. Ooh, It's up to you which one you want to do. Let me do a push slide. See what that's all about. Ooh, that might be fun. Watch. Little push. And then if you want to change the way that it goes, click on here and then see over here. You could play with the actual transition itself. So maybe you want start at cut, end at cut. You could play around with some of it. So just keep that in mind. There's that, push. Actually, put in the slide. That's kind of fun for storyboards. Sliding, split. Don't like the split. I do like the slide. So press play, slide it in. I'd say for storyboards, the slide really looks nice. Are there any questions? Okay, let me stop the screencast.